Welcome everybody once again to another edition of B&B Hockey Talk. The rosters are set. The season is grinding down to the final home stretch before the playoffs. This is Aaron Bloxel with my associate here, Matt Balzer. We're going to break it all down for you guys, catch you up on what's going on in the world of hockey. It's been a week, Matt, since we've been on. Lots to go over. Why don't you start us off with the 3 stars of the month? New month, new stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so February was a big month for these guys. The 3rd star of the month, Vladimir Tarasenko from the St. Louis Blues. In 14 games, he had 10 goals and 22 points. 2nd star from the Chicago Blackhawks, Patrick Kane. In 13 games, he had 11 goals and 23 points. And the 1st star of the month, Nikita Kucherov from the Tampa Bay Lightning, 8 goals, 25 points in 15 games. Just crazy. And then the rookie of the month for February was Jordan Binnington from the St. Louis Blues, 10-1, 4 shutouts, a .945 save percentage, and a 1.44 goals against average. Just crazy.
And single-handedly responsible for the resurgence of the St. Louis Blues.
Oh, yeah. And
those are our 3 stars of the month. Why don't you fill us in on the 3 stars of the week?
Yeah. So the 3 stars of this past week, 3rd star, Sidney Crosby, 3 goals, 8 points in 3 games, including a 4-point night in Montreal, where he also passed.
Big win for Pittsburgh that night.
Mm-hmm. And he also passed Jaromir Jagr for 2nd all-time in Pittsburgh goals with his 440th of his career. He's got a ways to go to catch Mario, who's at 690. So we'll see if he gets there, but I'd rather doubt that.
Jaromir, for those of you that don't know, the first name of Jagr, but also the anagram to Mario Jr.
Oh, and then the 2nd star of the week, Blake Wheeler, 5 goals, 8 points, including a 4-goal game last night against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Everybody's getting 4 goals a game nowadays.
I know. Well, Brad Richardson, out of all people, man, I still can't get over that. 4 goals against the Canucks, Brad Richardson. He had 3 goals all last season. He passed that in 1 game. Oh, and then the 1st star of the week, Marc-Andre Fleury from the Vegas Golden Knights. 3 wins, 2 back-to-back shutouts, and a .987 save percentage. The guy probably had about the easiest shutout last night against the Canucks. But yeah, Vegas is starting to roll, getting Mark Stone in there after the trade deadline. After they had like a big, huge, long losing streak going there, but they're starting to go in the right direction.
Yeah, Vegas undefeated since the trade deadline, and acquiring Mark Stone. Mark Stone quote of the week: "It's really weird to celebrate with Max Pacioretty when all you want to do is punch him in the face." Max Pacioretty said, "I totally understand."
Well, it's sort of crazy how they've totally revamped that second line, because you got Paul Stastny there through free agency, so they're looking really good coming up in these playoffs, especially that 4th line. They absolutely dominated the Canucks last game, like Ryan Reese, Belmar, and Carpenter. Man, that team's built for another long playoff run.
Yeah, and they still have William Carrier, of course, too, another big body they can add. Playoffs, to me, is time when the big body boys come out and start throwing around. And I think between the Vegas 4th line and the Islanders 4th line, those are 2 lines to watch out for. Because Clutterbuck, Matt Martin, and Casey Zizekas is no pushover either.
Oh,
and they can play. They can play. Let's touch on, now that we've thrown out the 3 stars, let's touch on the game of the week, featuring those 4th line Islander boys that we talked about in New York, the return of John Tavares and the chance of "we don't want you." Man, what an atmosphere that game was. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, just crazy. Like, I think when I shared the video, it's like I thought this was like a WWE sort of like live event, sort of how invested the fans were. Sort of got a little bit over the top with like the jersey being thrown at him and a couple of plastic snakes being thrown on the ice in warm up. But all the chants and all the signs and everything, I'm all in for that. Just crazy. And then the Islanders went out and destroyed them 6-1. It was great. And then, yeah, as you bring out that 4th line, like Casey Zizekas, he's up to 19 goals this year, and he's like their 4th line center. Though they have a couple losses after that, so maybe they went a little bit too over the top in that game, and they've had a bit of a letdown after that. But yeah, just crazy. Like some of the chants that they were yelling at Tavares was just plain hilarious.
Where's your jammies and all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah, man, the Islander fans that night, kudos to you. You guys brought it. You had your say, and hopefully the healing can begin now. And of course, if it was Detroit, they would have thrown real snakes on the ice. Let's go. Where do you want to go next? There's obviously a lot of other stuff to still get into, but what's next?
Well, let's head to that mess in Ottawa where they
Guy Bouchard let go. Probably because he wasn't coaching the team good enough after they traded his 3 best players away. Man, what a mess. And, the fans right now are just hoping and praying that they win enough games to get second last instead of dead last so that it's less of a chance for Colorado to get that first pick.
Oh, and the hilarious thing here is that Pierre Dorion was quoted, I think the day before, saying that they were going to evaluate the coaching staff at the end of the season, and then the next day, Boucher gets fired. So Mark Crawford stepping in as intern for the rest of the season. But I think like Boucher and Crawford, both of their contracts were up at the end of the season anyway. So if you're going to move on from him, then it doesn't really matter now when you're going to do it. I'll be interested to see who they're going to try to bring in, just because Ottawa is such a cheap organization, and what money they're going to spend on a head coach coming up. But man, what a mess it's been since that Eastern Conference final against Pittsburgh. Like, I forget if we brought it up last week, but I think you brought it up to me before one of the shows. Like, there's only like 6 guys left from like that team, and just the mess this year. Like, you had like the Uber incident, like Mike Hoffman, Eric Carlson off ice stuff there. They had to fire one of their like assistant general managers, but that's just like the tip of the iceberg.
Great interview by Eugene Melnick and one of the players.
Yeah, the Mark Borowicki, Eugene Melnick interview. Like you traded Eric Carlson, Matt Duchene, and Mark Stone in a span of a year.
You can't make stuff up. Like it rates itself there because it's so bad.
Oh, it's just and then Dorian comes down, I think, after when they fired the coach, and tells the players that they haven't been playing well enough for their, like, and all of that. It's just like, you just traded their top 3 scorers at the deadline. What do you expect? But yeah, it's and then of course the arena situation where they got denied again. I saw there, so it's bad there.
It's definitely a mess. One of the greats in Calgary gets his jersey retired. Iggy did a lot of good stuff. He won back-to-back Memorial Cups, won some World Championships, won Olympic gold medals, won a World Cup, and, of course, came very close to winning a Stanley Cup in Calgary. I remember the one year they went to the Stanley Cup final. I believe he got the Rocket Richard Trophy that year for most goals. If not, he was runner-up. But the next closest guy to him was Craig Conroy and Sean Donovan, who had less than 20 goals each.
Man, yeah. Iginla was an absolute beast when he was on there. He set up Crosby for the golden goal, of course, as well. And I think somebody brought this up like as a Canuck moment, which I thought, looking back on, I thought was pretty cool, was Trevor Linden's final game in Vancouver. The Flames had all gone to the dressing room, but then Iginla led them out, and every player shook Trevor Linden's hand. It just shows how classy of a guy he was on and off the ice. But yeah, like when he was on his game, he was running guys over. He was putting the puck in the net. And being a person of color as well. Just a great representation for younger players to look up to as well.
Fun stat we had. We talked about Shane Doan's retirement last week. Both teammates with the Kamloops Blazers back in the mid-'90s. So,
and both drafted in the same draft as well. So pretty crazy. In the same span of a week, they both had their jerseys retired.
Absolutely great stuff. NHL loses a legend today. Former Detroit Red Wing Ted Lindsay passes away, I believe, at the age of 95. One of the founders of the NHLPA, and he's done a lot of great stuff, not just for hockey, but for the world as well. I think you were teasing me before we came on, asking me what he was like because of my age, but I'm not quite that old. So, what are your thoughts on this from what you've heard and what you know about Ted Lindsay?
Yeah. So just reading up on him and bringing an NHLPA in 1957, just what he had to go through. Because I think the one thing he brought up was during that time was players didn't talk to each other on each team, so it was really difficult to get any communication wise. While owners and stuff met like many times a year, so he was trying to get a PA going together where players can organize to where we are today. And because of that, he got traded from the Red Wings to the Chicago Blackhawks, who were the worst team in the league at that time. But eventually, he was able to get the first NHLPA organized. And also, when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1966, I believe, he actually didn't go to the ceremony because the NHL only allowed men into the ceremonies, and since he couldn't bring his whole entire family, he didn't go. And the next year, the NHL changed the rule as well on that. So, but yeah, just a pioneer on and off the ice. Like he was way before my time. But the line that he also played on with Gordie Howe and I forget the guy's first name, but I believe his last name was Abel.
Abel, of course.
Yeah. They were a great line for the Red Wings way back in the day. And of course they renamed the Lester B. Pearson Award after him for the most outstanding player, voted on by the players. So yeah, just an absolute legend.
All right. Lots of well, not lots, but a few milestones hit this week. Why don't you go over those, including Ryan Miller?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ryan Miller was honored for becoming the most winningest American-born goalie in NHL history, getting his 375th win. Also, Alexander Ovechkin getting his 45th goal against the Islanders earlier this week. He became the first player in NHL history to have at least 10 seasons of 45 goals or more in a season, passing Wayne Gretzky, and I think might have been Mike Bossy as the other one. And as well, Patrick Marleau passed Dave Anderchuk for 7th all-time in regular seasons game played, with playing in his 1,640th game. Just insane to get up that high. Like he just passed Scott Stevens like last week, so it's he's getting up there and he's still producing. Like he's still a really good player out there.
Now Marleau is my age, so
yeah. And lastly, oh no, I got two more. The Tampa Bay Lightning picking up their 50th win of their season in just 66 games. Matches the 95-96 Detroit Red Wings as the fastest to get to 50 wins in a season. And a funny one here with the Philadelphia Flyers with Cam Talbot playing in a game with them. He became the 8th goalie to start a game for the Flyers this year, which is the most in NHL history for goalies used in 1 year, passing the St. Louis Blues, who had 7 in 1 year.
And I believe Vegas had 6 last year, and we thought that was a lot. So
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, lots of goalies used in Philadelphia. Finally, a few injuries to update us on, and then your thoughts as we end today's show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the big injury news: Jesse Puljujarvi with the Edmonton Oilers had successful surgery on both of his hips, and he's expected to return next September. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. As well as in New Jersey, Taylor Hall had arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. That probably ends his season. He's actually been out for quite a while now. And with the Toronto Maple Leafs, a couple injuries there. Jake Gardner's week to week with a back injury, as well as Travis Dermott's out 4 weeks with a shoulder injury, and Erik Karlsson with the San Jose Sharks is out at least a week with a groin injury, and that's been a couple of groin injuries this year for Karlsson, so that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, and that's about it.
All right, final word to end today's show.
All right, yeah. So just 2 games today. I've switched to just doing the top highlights on our Facebook page. I think that'll make it a little bit easier on you guys instead of just getting just absolutely like just drowned.
Easier to find, that's for sure.
Yeah. So that's I think that'll make it a lot easier on you guys. And yeah, so that'll be up, and then we will be back on Wednesday. We should have a full week of shows this week. But yeah, Wednesday we'll be going over the GM meeting stuff that's happening in Florida right now. So we'll see if there will be any interesting rule changes or anything good that's come up on Wednesday.
Perfect. Remember, if you're seeing this on Facebook, to like and subscribe to our page, share it with your friends, comment below about your favorite players, your favorite team, engage with us. Let us know what you want us to talk about on this show. Or on the page, as we always do. Love that engagement. If you're seeing this on YouTube, remember to subscribe. Also, if you are on both, perfect. You get the highlights on Facebook. You get the show on YouTube. And, man, the hockey fans out there are loving what we're doing. So thanks for your amazing support out there. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday with our next edition of BB Hockey Talk. I'm Aaron. He's Matt. See you next time.